Without a shadow of a doubt, it's the crunkiest show in social media history. I want to welcome you to another episode of the War Zone. I got my man in the building, Donovan Sadiq, the Queen, Demetra K, and I am the 5-star general. You ain't got that 1400 yet, huh? The money looking funny, huh? Well, the money man in the building tonight. He gonna give you some strategies to try to help you, especially if you're down south and you ain't got no water and you ain't got no electricity. You might want to take notes tonight. This ain't no goddamn game no more. It's survival of the fittest. Say, man, I want to welcome y'all to another episode of the War Zone and tell you thank you. Without you guys, we would not have a show. So it's always a blessing when you can take the time out to tune in, to talk to us through the comments, meet with us, the whole 9 yards. We really appreciate it. I'm telling you, we really do. So with that being said, I'm going to dip out for a second because I got to go set this other page up. And Donovan, what's going on, my friend?
Oh, man, it's Thursday night. I got my pen. I got my notes. The money man Walter's in the house. I'm ready to take some notes. In the news real quick, not much really going on. And we're going to be talking a little bit about some folks, a known senator there in Texas. But recently posted, Rihanna just posted a picture of MLK with earrings and gold teeth. And I don't know how to feel about it because, like I said, she's in a different generation. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but, take a look at it. It just recently went viral, probably like an hour and a half ago or something like that. And I just want to say that I guess the last inductees into the Yates Hall of Fame, Rita Martin, Phyllis Cleary, and Thelma Hayes. And I'm a big female basketball fanatic. And I want to congratulate them for getting into that Hall of Fame.
Yeah, man, they them three ladies, they were bad to the bone. They were the first organized team of female lady basketball players that we had. And it's just an honor to be able to even say their name, to put them in the Hall of Fame. As far as Frederick Player, when I say I ain't never seen a dude on a snare drum that goddamn cold in my life, say that boy, that was ice cold, man. And, we just try to be fair with the Hall of Fame, man, and put different people from different areas of the school, sports, academics, as well as administration. And I think we got a good group, and we're going to set the whole Hall of Fame banquet up. And hopefully we pass the COVID and we can get a lot of people to show up, man.
So hello, beautiful people. I hope you are all having a fabulous Thursday. I'm always in a good mood, you guys. But I'm in a better mood because while Texas is still going through the bull caca, I got some lights, I got some internet, and I got some running water finally within the last hour or so. We had a busted pipe and, we had a plumber that was able to come right out. Plumbers are going to be rich as of next week because, everybody's got busted pipes and stuff. And so it just really makes you grateful for the little things that you take for granted every day, really just to be able to turn on the light switch, turn on the water and, all of that. So, I'm grateful in spite of it all. But anyway, let's go ahead and talk about Mr. Ted Cruz, who is the Republican senator from Texas. You guys might have seen him jet setting away on a plane to Cancun, right? Now, ordinarily you'd be like, well, what's wrong with that? Well, Ted, you're the senator, one of the senators from Texas, and Texas is, it's frozen. Texas is frozen. It's going through this Arctic blast where it was just completely unusual. People were going through some things. There was, people died, pipes were bursting, a whole host of things. And he decided to go to Cancun because he said his daughter wanted to go to Cancun, and he thought he, was being a good dad by obliging his young daughter. She doesn't seem old enough to make decisions in the household, but somehow she told her dad, not Chuck E. Cheese, but Cancun. So they went off, they being the whole family went to Cancun. People got wind of it, tweeted and, got outraged. And then he brought his ass back early to say, and said he was dealing with the stuff of going on in Texas, in Cancun. He was, monitoring and, blah, blah, blah. So he gave a press conference not too long ago, basically saying people are, kind of saying people were tripping. It wasn't that big of a deal. People are being mean and nasty and all that kind of stuff. And one thing he knows about Texans is that they work together. And so, Gary, you're the native, well, pretty much native Texan. What are your thoughts about Mr. Ted Cruz?
Ted Cruz has been, is now, and forevermore full of shit. That's all it boils down to. The thing is I'll tell people, if you do the right things with your money, that's why we bring Walter on here, that when something happens, you can do exactly what Ted did, get the hell up out of here. But the audacity of Ted to run to Mexico when you and your people wanted to build a wall, that's kind of like an oxymoron to me. So people are like, what should we do about it? Well, do what we did yesterday. We put some pressure on some local officials, some black officials, some black pastors. And then today I wake up and I see Tasha Jackson, city councilwoman, Greenhouse International Church. Didn't we speak about them last night? New Faith Baptist Church, Garden Oaks Church. It's so many. Good Hope, Bethel, Institutional Baptist Church. What I'm saying is we put some pressure on some people yesterday. And because we put some pressure on some people, you see the good congresswoman out there passing out water, you get on your job. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. If people wait for me to tell them thank you, that's not going to happen. That's your job. I was a tough father, Demetri, because when my kids made the honor roll, we didn't celebrate. You expected to do that. So when it comes to politicians, what you did today, you expected to do that. But I will say it's good that they showed the effort to do it. They serving hot meals. Without even saying it today, I put the pressure on the school district. Say, man, you need to open some of these schools. You need to open these cafeterias. But Ted Cruz is who Ted Cruz is. He's just what he's always been. He's a pathological liar. And those Republicans that don't seem to have a problem with Mr. Cruz and what he did, don't feel bad if one of your people catches the COVID or dies from, frostbite. Ted Cruz doesn't give a damn about you if you black or white. That's my assessment of it.
Yeah, I just want to add to that real quick before we start getting to the money. It goes back to what we were saying the other night as regards to the HBCUs. Get your ass out there, even if it's just for the photo op. Black people love symbolism. Get your ass out there, even if it's for the photo op. You claim you do all this stuff for the community. There's a natural disaster going on. And then here you are, this big outreach in the damn community, and you're nowhere to be found. But come to the red, black, and green ball, y'all out there dancing and twerking and acting a damn fool, patting yourselves on the back. But when it comes to an everyday disaster, you are nowhere to be found. So yeah, Ted Cruz is being a politician. Just get out there for the goddamn photo op. These churches and these other people, just do what you got to do so that people could say, and not really talk about you. But isn't that funny? The minute you turn the lights on, the roaches scramble.
Well, I tell you this, Demetri and Walter, you might want to chime in, that there's a problem. There's a black and a white problem. The white Republicans that don't have a problem with what Ted Cruz did are the main ones that are making excuses for him. Just like they did when Trump would do stupid shit, they would make excuses for him. So I'm telling you, black folk, because I already know y'all didn't vote for him. If y'all sick of Ted Cruz, it ain't our job to get his ass up out of office. It's your job. You put him in there. It's your goddamn job. You know Ted Cruz is garbage. It's 3 people in the state of Texas that need to go. Greg Abbott, Dan Patrick, Ted Cruz. Honestly, they need to go. But Ted Cruz is a disrespectful. You feel me? And no, the mic didn't cut off. I just didn't say it. He's a disrespectful. But if y'all cool with them disrespectful, that's your business. But over here on the black side, y'all ain't getting no passes. You're going to do your goddamn job.
Don't worry, I filled in the blank for you a couple of times, but it wasn't the word you said. I said something else, but it's not ladylike. So anyway, as you guys see, we have Walter Coulter from Cornucopia.com on here. And he is our resident financial guru. He gives us the financial game so that we can learn how to make and save money and, ultimately have a better life. And I will say this, I was having this conversation with Al earlier, and I said, it's funny how, not funny, but, that with all of this going on in Texas, because we went to the store and it was, like Hunger Games out there. And we passed by a McDonald's. And the line was like around, the building. And I said, the sad part about it is the service industry workers are the first ones that have to go back to work, whether it's McDonald's, the grocery stores, just the service industry people who are serving people who need stuff. And so maybe you could talk to us. And I don't want to get into the blame game because this is nobody's fault. But the people that Gary mentioned, it's the government's fault. And it is our fault too, because we continue as, voters to vote for those people. But how do we, I guess, better our situation? Because I was speaking to a colleague of mine, and he says this Texas thing, this thing here, this freezing, the weather and everything we went through, he says, I guarantee you, I will never, ever be unprepared like this again. Now, this dude is a millionaire, okay? And he was unprepared to deal with this. And he said, I will never, ever be in this situation. I'm going to have me some generators, water tanks, and everything I need to survive because we are vulnerable. We are at the will of, the powers that be, per se. So, Walter, how do we avoid that as much as possible? Like, what are some financial tips that you have? And, Gary, did you want to jump in before that?
Yeah, I just want to say something. I mean, we got the mayor and city council member that like to give out proclamations on bullshit. I realistically think that they should go around the city of Houston and go to the McDonald's, the Whataburgers, these places, give these people proclamations. They saved a lot of lives by opening up those buildings and giving us somewhere to eat when we couldn't cook a can of soup. They need to be honored. That's just the way that I feel. They need to be honored. The ones that were open. I saw a Whataburger open. I know them people didn't change shifts for 24 hours. I just think that they need to be honored, man. Walter.
Hey, well, yeah, I don't know how you guys do it. It's today in California, it was 85 degrees. I mean, so I'm trying to get my head around being in a situation where I don't have food or I can't get the food. But the crazy part is we talk about this stuff all the time on the show. Even we always talk about going off grid, right? So here's what I would do. Let me answer your question, D. And I think when I was doing this show before or speaking to people of color, especially people that have been struggling, I think I missed the mark. So I'm going to regroup and start this way. Here's what I'm telling people now. When you get paid, take some money and put it away for fun. Good life stuff, right? Because what I was doing before is telling people, get money, save it for the future. People don't want to hear that, which is sad, right? So what I'm telling people now is let's say if you make $5,000 a month, take some of that money and figure out what you're going to do to have fun. Eat out dinners because you're going to do it anyways. So set that money to the side. Get the fun stuff out of the way, right? If you must drive a newer car, or if you must floss, set aside a floss budget, right? Like today, or yesterday, I bought a BMW 2013. It was like 10 grand, blue, white interior, phenomenal. It's $17,000, $18,000 ride. But if I was going to drive that car and finance it, it would cost me $200 a month, right? To be in this BMW. And it just makes sense to do that, right? I'm still in the Beamer. I still get to pull up to the light and look like I want to look, but it's only costing me $200 a month. So set money aside for the good life. Next, You need to then start putting money aside for protection. Here's what I mean when I say protection. Not only life, disability, but like for food and water. If you go to my garage, I have about 6 months worth of food in my garage. Every time I go to the store, my daughter can tell you because she always steals it when she comes over, is I buy tuna. It's crazy. I go to the tuna aisle and I buy a stack of tuna every time I go to the store and I put it in my garage. I have probably 300 cans of tuna in my garage. That's after my daughter took hers, right? Another thing I did is I went and I bought, and I have a can opener and I have a kit an emergency kit, can opener, wine opener, gotta have that, right? Because if we're in the apocalypse, I'm gonna need to drink, right? So take that and create a kit. Tuna is 99 cents. Maybe now it's more because you guys are going through this madness, right? Or if you have a Costco or Sam's Club membership, this stuff is cheap. So I gave myself 6 months worth of food in my garage. I also went out, and I don't like plastic using bottled water, but for an emergency, I have a stat. I don't know, maybe I don't know how many feet high and wide of just bottled water. So for whatever reason, if we can't get to water for a month, 2 months, 3 months, I have enough water for 2 to 3 months, right? So you could do that, you guys. That stuff is cheap. Then, or you can buy, remember growing up, the cup of noodles, they were 25 cents. I think they still are. You guys, I'm not saying you need to eat this stuff regularly, but like for $100, you can buy 400 meals. Now, I'm not pumping up a cup of noodles. That shit will kill you, definitely. But what I'm saying is, for $100, you can have 400 meals. How long does 400 meals go? Think about it, Donovan. I know as growing up, I ate Top Ramen all the time, right? So if I ate Top Ramen 3 times a day and I had 400 meals, how long could I survive doing that, right? That's 130 days. That is 1, 2, 3, 4 months, right? 4 months that I could survive, right? And keep it real. You don't need water for ramen noodles. You could just chew it, right? So little things like that will get you guys more prepared. Here's some of the other stuff you can do. I know one thing I'm doing with one of the properties that I'm building off the grid is we're getting water tanks. Now, this may look weird at your house, but you can buy these water tanks and they hold up to like 3,000 gallons. And you will have water for weeks. And it goes right in your backyard. And you can buy them, and the water company will come fill them up for you. And it's like $100 to fill up 3 in California. So imagine what it costs in your hood. So, or wherever you are, different country, Texas, whatever. So now you have this big tank of water for emergencies. So when I was in this old financial company, one of the guys says, Walter, I go, well, first of all, what is that big old circle? He goes, that's water for 6 months for me and my family. In the apocalypse, we have water for 6 months. And then he had an extra, he had 3 kitchens in his house. So he was like, we have food forever. So with these water tanks, you then have water that will come to your house. The other thing you guys can do that's really, really cheap, like right now, some of you guys have generators, but there's no gas. And that's ironic. So considering Texas is like the gas oil state, how is Texas unprepared for this? When most of those, like if I want to get gas and oil, most likely it comes from Texas. So what you could do is, and what I'm doing with my property out here is I'm getting these giant propane tanks, and they're cheap. They're hundreds of dollars, and you can have propane for months. Let me be clear. These propane tanks will run your refrigerator, your stove, your fireplace, your barbecue grill. My neighbors out in the desert, when you roll up to their house, they have these giant water tanks. They have propane, and propane runs the whole house. So if you guys have a snowstorm and you can't get to your utilities, that propane will heat and run your refrigerator, period. So you can cook your food and do all that stuff. Another thing, well, I don't think meat.
Before you get started with that, for those of you guys who know me, know I love Mos Def. Okay, Love Most Def, and he has a song called New World Water. And one of the parts of the lyrics, he says, F a bank, I need a 20-year water tank. Because he's basically saying in this song, a lot of times people, well, now we think cash is king. It's all about money, money, money. Now, this album came out nearly 20 years ago at this point. And he's saying that it's going to get to a point to where water is going to be most important. And what have we seen? We've seen Flint, and of course, there's a lot of other places. But here we are now. I don't know if you guys saw the video where they're rationing water now. You can go to I forget where it is, and I think it's Houston. But they're pumping out water. You bring your jug or whatever, and they're giving you water. But like I said, I was in Walmart, and there was no more water. So I'm, looking around for different things, and I hear this lady say, water, water. And I had this basket full of stuff running through the store as if I was running from the zombies or something.
From the vaccine.
And everybody just swarmed out of nowhere getting this water. And so I think we do really underestimate how important water is. And water is, it's universal for everything. But I just wanted to, throw that in there, as you were saying about the water tank, because I've heard a lot of people say that they will be getting a water tank.
Well, real quick, isn't that funny? Because for over a year now, I have been investing in water companies on the stock market because I happen to know one of the commodities that you're going to need to live is going to be water. And I'm going to tell you, these devils, if they could charge you for air, they will. If they would charge you for water, they will. The guy that invented the plastic water bottle to put water in, genius. But yeah, I really think that's what it's going to come to. In South Africa, they have to pump their water in. Water in South Africa is very, very expensive. So I'm not a financial guru or anything like that, like my man Walter, anybody like that. I would tell you guys, if you get an opportunity to invest in a water company, do so.
Yeah.
But see, you should invest in water, but that money from those investments ain't going to do you no goddamn good if you get in a situation like that and you don't have no water on hand. Walter, continue.
Yeah, so here's something else, you guys, and soon you'll be able to go to SoFreshAndSoClean.com and you can buy you a bidet. Here's what I'm saying. In my house, I got those sprays. Like when toilet paper went off the charts or went off this, I was like, I don't need it. I mean, okay, without going into my hygiene details, I'm just saying, for like $40, you can buy one for each toilet, and then water, is not an, like wiping your behind is not an issue. It was crazy. But when tissue ran out, I still saw like there was, anyways, I'm not going to get stuck on that subject. Here's the point I'm making. You guys can prepare for this. You should be prepared because you guys, right now, it's going to be warmer this weekend, but like, what if it was 3 weeks? You guys, you understand, there's nothing we can do for Mother Nature. Like, she shows up, it's a wrap. So the propane tank is an easy fix, you guys. You can buy them. You can fill them with propane. It will run your house for weeks in an emergency. So you'll have heat. You can cook and do all that stuff. We talked about the water, the food. And you guys, we've been talking about this for months. Right? Making sure that you're prepared to be off grid, because I don't know how much money you have. Doesn't matter. If it's frozen, you can't get to it. So what? Right? I mean, this is, and I swear, I was driving down the freeway. And I swore I saw Mark Cuban today in like a McLaren. I was telling my son, this is Mark Cuban. I like videotaped him, and I thought it was him. The point I'm making, he just got out. He could just leave. If you have a private plane, things, Ted Cruz style, you can leave. But for the people that can't, you need to be prepared. So you guys, this is really easy. And can I be honest? I see somebody talking about growing food, and that's cool. I love that idea. You should, a greenhouse is $1,000. One of those plastic the big giant tents. And you can grow your stuff. Now, when the freezing weather would have damaged that stuff, but you could have brought it inside. At least you have a better chance of having food versus none at all, right? So you should always keep 3-6 months worth of food in your house. Let me explain to you why. Even if the disaster doesn't last that long, What if your neighbors are starving? You're probably going to want to feed them. Maybe you'll want to help, right? That zombie movie, that stuff is real. If you're the only one with food and people find out, it's a wrap. So anyways, this is like basic caveman shit, right? My father, me and D, we have the same father. He used to always say, stock up on cans, stock up on food, canned goods, can your food, right? And he talked about that more than anything. So subliminally, when I go to the store, I buy canned goods. I don't believe you should eat food out of a can unless it's for an emergency, right? So I just keep beans. I probably have 200 cans of beans. I don't like beans, but under an emergency, I could eat those. And you guys, this is cheap. So for really like $500, you can buy enough food for you and a whole family for months. And you only got to do it once, right? So that's off the list. Make sure we keep talking about putting money away. Some of you guys that are saving money are finding it's fun, isn't it? Like to buy JP Morgan stock option at $1.13 and sell it for $13. That's pretty cool, right? So just start putting your money away, even if it's a little bit. I know we talk about this, you guys, but we're going to get power as a people of color is by having our own money. Case in point, Jerry Jones, right? Dallas Cowboy owners, he's in gas. Like, he's on the news. Think about this. People say the rich get richer. You know why? Because the rich are prepared. You really don't think that Jerry Jones is going, hey, one day we're going to get hit with extreme weather and I'm going to have a gas company. And now he's making money. And the article was like, rich people, they suck. No, bull caca. Rich people are prepared. And in order to get rich, you don't need to be rich, you guys. You just need reserve. Honestly, you guys, if most of you had $20,000, if you had $5,000, if everybody watching this had $5,000 saved that they never touched, your stress level would go down, your diabetes, stroke, all that shit would disappear. A lot of it if you had cash reserves because your stress level would go down. So why not be more prepared? One of the things I want to do is create a group for people that want to invest. What I'm finding out is people really are struggling to do it on their own. So one thing I'm doing, I'll just put it here. I'm actually walking away. Oh, yeah, you need to send me that book, or I hope it's on Audible. One thing I'm doing is I am exiting the financial planning business. Let me be clear. I'm done with financial planning. I'm tired of dealing with other people's money. What I'm going to do is keep Cornucopia open, my membership, so I can teach people how to travel, have fun, and give them tips. But financial planning, I'm done with it. You know why? Because I don't want to mess with other people's money. And people don't care. What I'd rather do is stack money. We go out and buy stuff together, right? As soon as the snow's over, we're going to Corinth, Conroy. We're looking for lake properties in Texas. So some of you guys are sincere about building your wealth. Let's buy property together, right? If we bought a piece of property that was like 30,000, 6 of us could get in and put in $5,000. Here's the crazy part. We don't need 30,000 to buy a piece of land that's 30,000. We need like 10 grand or 12, because you can put 40% down. A lender, a private money guy or girl will give you the money for the rest. So you own the land. You see what I'm saying? So 3 of us could get together, put in $4,000 and buy a $30,000 piece of land, and then get a bank to finance and build some temporary homes, small homes, tiny homes with some propane tanks and water tanks and solar panels, and ta-da, it's a wrap. So even if we didn't make money from that, you guys, how cool would it be if right now you could go to Corinth, Texas or Conroy and go stay in your house in the land that you own that's fully furnished with food, water, propane, and solar? So even if it wasn't to make money, like what if you could just go to your own house? So that's what I'm saying. So what I'd say is we can start putting money together. And I hear this a lot. The Jews do it. The Asians do it. Why in the hell are we still talking about what they're doing? Like, you guys, we totally screwed the pooch. All of us got our stimulus. 600. Some of you get 600 2 times. 1,400's on the way. Joe Biden, you guys, let me tell you, he is going to give away all kinds of money to people that are ready. at like 2% interest rates from one of the things that I saw. SBA right now is sending out emails to people to get their $10,000. If you filed if you have 1099 income in 2019, there's a good chance you have money waiting there at 1% interest, or PPP that's forgivable. Or some of you guys, the money is there sitting with your name on it. You just got to go get it, right? So the point I'm trying to make is you should probably, out of the month, maybe take 2 hours a month and focus just on your finances. That's it. 8 hours a day. No, not 8 hours. 24 hours in a day times 30 is what? 720. Out of 720 hours, can you take 2 and protect the other 718? That's it. Right? I know me and my sister talk a lot of, we talk a lot about buying land and, doing things like that. Like I always tell people, if you own land, you can put an RV on it that you can buy from OfferUp or Craigslist for $2,000, one of those little fifth wheel. You see them out there in the homeless territories. They got these little trailers for $2,000. And if you own land, you could live in that thing. Like, seriously, it's not complicated. Out in the desert where I'm at, people are living out there with no money. They're off the grid. They have solar, they're on water, propane in their house, their little shack. They have shacks that are paid off. And I talked to one of my neighbors. He goes, you know what? We've been living here forever. We have no bills. It is the most peaceful thing we've ever. It's just knowing that you have no bills and you own the land, your stress is gone.
So let's talk about living off of the grid for a minute. And can you tie that into the minimalist style, lifestyle of living? So talk about that. Because, when you talk about, you hear people say living off the grid. A lot of people don't know what that means. So can you just break that down?
Living off the grid means you're not connected to shit. No electricity. You're not connected to water. If all the utilities, water, utility company said, nope, we're not giving you anything. Where are you going to get your water and electricity from? Where are you going to get your food from? A lot of my neighbors grow their own food. So earlier I said that you can buy one of these big bubble tents. They're domes. You can buy them. And what a lot of my neighbors are doing is they're putting greenhouses. They're growing food in these domes so it's protected from the elements of the weather. And they're see-through. So there's a curtain that you can wrap around and block the sun out, or you can open it and let it in. They're growing their own food. They have these big water tanks. One of my neighbors, his house is a UFO. Literally, it's an orange UFO. And he has a portable bathroom on wheels. So they can and sometimes you see the bathroom over here and then the bathroom's over there. He can hook this bathroom on the back of his car and roll out, like literally. And he connects it to his water tank and his propane, and he has hot water. Do you understand what I'm saying? Here's another thing you can do. You can go to Google. For $300, they have a shower and a kitchen sink. Here's how it works. There's a curtain, it goes up. There's a propane thing, and you connect the propane tank, and it's a water thing. And what it does is you connect it to water, and the propane heats up the water so you can take a shower, and you can have water for dishes, drinking water. For $300, you can have your own shower and kitchen sink. There's no reason why we shouldn't be prepared. You know what I'm saying? So when I say off the grid, I mean, and you guys, one day, and this is going to suck. It's going to happen, and it's going to happen to Black people first. I promise you, because we are, and I had an incident, something that happened to me this week, and I'm going to leave it alone because I don't want to diss family publicly. And I'm not talking about my family on the left, on the bottom, but like Black people, we treat each other the worst. Like Kumo D said, I never ran from the Klan. I shouldn't have to run from a Black man. What the fuck? Like, seriously, I was so mad yesterday. I wanted to slap a comedian. I was irritated. Black people, we treat each other the worst. Like, me and my boys, when I was financial planning, we would go to this group called the 100 Black Men, and we would show up and they would treat us like shit. They were like, you're not old enough. You don't blah, 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 blah. I'm like, dude, we're trying to learn. And I worry, and I'm going to say this out loud. When I worry about getting hurt, I worry about it happening to me from my own people. That shit needs to stop. Like, period. You know, I've had Muslims tell me, don't do business with black people. Niggas. And I'm not going to tell you who they are, who said it. And that shouldn't be the case. We should be able to do business with each other. Like you guys, when the apocalypse, like you guys in Texas, just getting a taste. You're just getting a small taste of what's coming to you. I promise you, you watch and see. Next time you have an event, you don't think that people are getting prepared for the next time, because what happens with these weather systems is they keep repeating themselves over and over and over. So this is just the start. So you can be prepared. 1, 2, we can be nice to each other. Black people, think about this. We're each getting $2,000 eventually when Joe Biden and them get their shit together. I don't know how you have the House and the Senate. Anyways, no politics. But what if we all took our $1,400 and we pulled it together? And what if we bought 5 acres? And what if we built a community on it? Like, just a big community. Doesn't have to be anything major. You know, like in Carolina, they have this lake property, and they bought these 2 domes. And they designed the domes. They built, like, this, basically put furniture and beds and a shower inside these domes. You guys, these domes are like 3 to 5, 10 grand. Like, for a house. Like, I'll give you an idea. You can buy what's called an arch cabin in Houston, matter of fact. Right? The Arch Cabins is in Houston. There's one in Austin, like a little plant flower shop. These things are like $5,000 for the whole house. The bottom, the roof, the front. $5,000. You can have a whole house, and then you got to do whatever you do to the inside for $5 grand. So if 3 of you are getting $1,400, you guys could buy one of these homes, and now you have a house. And then if you guys get together and buy land, you have land and you have this house on it. And then from there, the next time you get paid, you buy a water tank. The next time you get paid, you buy a propane tank. Do you realize you can buy solar panels? Right now, you can go to a hardware store, and for $200, $300, you can buy a mini solar system kit. Solar panel, inverter, controller, and all you got to do is plug in your appliance to it for like $300. So, like, there's these things that you can do, and it's not expensive. You know, like, there's a solar thing, and I'm not going to give you okay, I'll tell you what it is. I ain't going to do you like that. Actually, I forgot the name, but it's $1,099. Oh, I can't remember the name of it. It's a chargeable solar generator. So the sun charges it, and you can plug it up, and it charges in an hour. And it will run your appliances. For $1,000, you can buy a generator that's solar powered. You can have the solar panels outside charging this thing, and it's ready. They also have light bulbs. I just bought a bunch that you put into the, like, you put the light bulbs in here, and while this thing is on, it charges a light bulb. If I lose power, because the light bulb is charged, it takes over, and I still have lights. Those are like $4 or $5 each. Just little stuff like that you can do to protect yourself. So what I want to switch my focus on, you guys, is going out and acquiring. Let's buy some stuff. Right? And I have a list of things to go over, but I want to throw it back to you guys.
So, and I see a lot of people are interested in what you're saying. So just kind of, I want to expound upon the minimalist idea. I too am a minimalist, and a minimalist, for those of you guys don't know, is somebody who uses very little to survive. So let's take clothing, for example. Most people have a closet busting, of clothes. Some people may have 10 pair of black jeans and 3 pair of white jeans. Well, a minimalist will say, well, I only have one body. Why do I need so many pair of jeans or so many pair of black, different type of, shoes? I can only wear 1 pair of shoes at once. And so a minimalist has, as I said, very minimal clothes. Their closet is, very small. And in my idea, before I moved to Houston, I always wanted it to be where if I needed to move in a hurry, I could put everything I owned in my car. Now, it wasn't that, I didn't have the money per se. It was just more or less, not being tied to a bunch of stuff. there's a lot of people, they can't move because for one, it would take them forever because they just have a whole bunch of stuff they never use. You know, like I said, a closet full of clothes, kitchen full of this, that, and the other. And speaking in the kitchen, a minimalist, they don't buy a waffle maker and a toast maker. And they do, you know, one thing that can make bread or whatever it is, you know, you need to do. And so minimalist just cuts down on things, material things, and they save money and they save time. Like you look at somebody like a Steve Jobs or even a Mark Zuckerberg or a lot of the billionaires. They actually, if you believe it or not, they are minimalists. When is the last time you saw it? I know Steve Jobs is gone now, but you never saw him outside of a black turtleneck or a black shirt and some jeans. He never had on, you know, it looked like he didn't even look like he had a stylist. Mark Zuckerberg the same way. And so by being a minimalist, I think the most important thing is you save money and you save time. Because a lot of people, when they go to the closet, like, oh my gosh, what am I going to wear? And they spend 30 to 45 minutes trying to put an outfit together, opposed to saying, I have 3 black shirts. It's going to be one of those, and a pair of jeans and some t-shirts or boots or whatever. So they get on with their day, right? So.
But at the end of the day, you can't take none of this shit with you. So you might as well go ahead and, you know, be a minimalist, get rid of all, you know, stuff that you need to get rid of. Because, you know, some of us, and you guys know who we're talking about, y'all got grandma and all of them that are in the family, and they've got all this shit in the house. Grandma passes. Guess who has to deal with that shit?
Yeah. You guys, I'm actually afraid for our people. And here's what I mean. I see how black people, we treat each other when shit is good. Can you imagine if this lasted for a month? Can you imagine how we would treat each other? Just think about that for a second. We need to, you guys, and time is up. I keep telling you, every time I come here, I say time is up for black people. Like, you know, sometimes we'll joke about going back to slavery, but that shit is around the corner. Some of you are getting a taste of that right now. Kamala Harris said, I am not doing anything for black people. And before the ink was dry, the ballots was counted, she was talking about the Indians and the Asians, and nothing wrong with those races. But I'm just saying, like right now, you know who our representative is for black people? Ice Cube. I like Ice Cube. I think he's a smart dude, but like, where's his flank? And I know there's other black people doing stuff, but like, we have to do better. We need to hurry up, because I don't want to see my race disappear. So we just need to, that's why I started off by saying, figure out what you want to do that's fun, put money aside for that, then get your protection, then save money, then make sure you buy your food and stuff for 6 months. Now, I'm going to go through my notes. If you filed taxes for 2019 and you have self-employment income, I mean, like, you have self-employment income that you actually claim, not that you wrote off, but if you have self-employment income on your tax return, you can go, and there's stimulus money out there, right? They have the new PPP. SBA is giving away a $10,000 grant for some people in some neighborhoods. There's a lot of stuff out there that's available to you. And if you haven't filed your 2019, go file them, right? There's money out there, you guys, and people are picking up money all the time. So go out, make sure you have your taxes done. And contact the SBA. They're giving out 10 grand. I just got an email from them. Hey, your 10 grand is sitting here, so we need this. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, 10 grand, just boom, just like that. So look for that stuff. You guys, what could you do with 10 grand right now? SBA is not looking, they're not asking you for a bunch of stuff. I mean, some of you guys, 10, okay, like me, D, Donovan, and Gary. We put up 10 grand. We could buy land and build a house on it using our credit. And we could 4-bedroom, we have our own room. You guys, and I'm not plugging this Arch Cabin Company. I'm just buying cabins from them just to use to build because it's fast and affordable. But like, in these cabins, there's one that's 20 by 40 feet and 24 by 40. These things are huge, and they're 19 feet. So you can do 2 stories, and this 10 cabin, but they stand up to 170-mile-an-hour winds. So in this cabin, you could put 4 bedrooms in this one cabin, and it's $17,000 for the big giant cabin, 4 bedrooms. Each one of us could put in $4,000 plus the cost to build it and put furniture in it and off the grid stuff. For less than $10,000, we could be in our own house. It's that simple, but we got to get to the point where we're so focused. And I know we have to spend money because I've struggled with that too. But just think about peace of mind, right? Like, imagine having no expenses. And when I say no, I mean you just pay for food, utilities, and things like that. What if you could survive on $2,000 a month, but you were bringing in $5,000 and you saved $3,000, or if you were bringing in $4,000 and you saved $2,000? Do you realize that once you buy a piece of property and you build on it and you rent it out, that you can survive? A lot of people, like, here's what's going on. It's funny. If you go to YouTube and put in tiny homes, you see very few Black people doing this. Very few Black people. There's this one channel, Living Large in a Tiny Home. I haven't seen a Black person on there yet. I'm going to be the first one. You guys, people are selling their homes in Texas, especially, and they're buying land and they're putting a little tiny house on it with a deck. And they're like, we're living out here. We sold our house. We bought this tiny house in cash and the land, and we're off the grid and we're chilling. And it's peace of mind. And they're moving in with their parents. One couple had their parents. They put them a tiny house, so their mom and dad is right next to them. So they're not running around the city trying to take care of their parents. Their parents are right over there. Right? You see what I'm saying? So you guys, this is very affordable. And if you guys are serious, here's what I mean. And by the way, I want to give a props to some of the brothers out there. I had a couple brothers hit me real time and, start working on their stuff. So, I'm glad to see some brothers in the fold. But if you guys are serious, this is something we can do. Like I said, I'm done. I'm leaving the financial planning industry where I'm giving, I'm going to help people create a good life financially. But as far as like going through your bank statements and all that stuff, I'm done with that. Because at the end of the day, I want to have some fun. And for me, going through your bank statements is not fun because most people don't care. Like, I'm going through your bank statements and you don't even care. So forget it. So why don't we pool our money? And I'll let, me and D, Donovan, Gary, we can put together, right now, we can open a bank account and we can put money into it. We can create a link where everybody can go. They can look at the account. I mean, it's doable. People do it all the time. And so what we do is we come to Texas and we buy land. We go to Louisiana. We go to Louisiana and we buy land. We go to Carolina and we buy land. And before you know it, you guys, do you know what would happen if Black people started buying land, or people of color just started buying land? You guys, land is cheap. In Louisiana, you can buy like 1 million acres for like $300 or something crazy. Like, you guys, land. And let me tell you what else people are doing out in California is they're digging wells into the ground. Do you realize that there's an ocean above ground and there's an ocean underground? I was talking to this water company and he goes, yeah, what do you think these geysers and these hot springs? He goes, there's an ocean underground. So what people are doing is they're digging their own wells, and that's how they're getting water. So now, and you see a lot of my neighbors are digging wells, and it's almost like they're just getting ready for something. So you could do that. Talked about the SBA, right? I'm going to circle back to building your credit.
And let's stop right there just for a second. I don't think people really realize where we are going. And Jonelle, you made a good point by saying that Texas is just a test. You know what we went through in Texas, over this last week, I believe it. I believe it's a test, to see exactly, well, for one, what will the people do? How much will they take? And how much will they allow us to do? Because they definitely planning to do something. What that something is, we don't know. But, you take somebody like Ted Cruz, it's like, I'm out of here. When I should be here governing, maybe making sure FEMA gets here okay and all of that. He's just like, what are they gonna do? He said, I've been in office for 8 years, and it's just the way Texas is, and there's no doubt in his mind that he will be elected back in again, even after the shenanigans he went through with Trump. Talk about Trump was cheated, and even said Trump was done wrong after he caused the insurrection. Then now he takes off to Mexico, and so he just has the attitude like, these people will let me do anything to them. So,
well, why? I don't mean to cut you off, Steve, but why wouldn't he have that attitude? Congress works, they say, less than 3 months out of the freaking year when they actually show up for a job. And then in Ted's mind, when your opponent bitch slaps your wife and you do nothing about it, you definitely can't be respected.
Yeah. Here's something else you guys need to do. Get you a gun. Like, I went to a gun shop. I swear to you, I saw like 300 people come in a gun shop in an hour and a half. I go, man, what's going on? He goes, dude, people are getting ready. They're getting ready for the shit. I'm like, what shit? And it was just, I was in this gun shop. It was me, a few Asians, and like 298 white people. And they're just like, we're getting ready for the shit. So I was like, all right, maybe I need to get me one. And you can take the gun test right there on the spot. If you fail it, you can go back and take it the next day. You can take a picture of the test, study, come back and take it tomorrow. I'm not saying that's what I did, but you can do that. So, because you guys, and I'm going to talk about the Capitol for a second. What they did at the Capitol was wrong. But in a sense, we should be able to, and I don't like the way they did it, but we should be able to go to the Capitol and say, hey, not for why they did it, right? We have an election. It was done. It should have been over. But what if Congress, they did something that would hurt us? We should be able not to do damage and wipe shit on the walls and hurt people, but we should be able to storm the Capitol and say, hey, this is not right, you guys. You need to fix this. We put you in power and we can take you out, right? It needs to be for the right thing. We don't need to go in there and hurt people. I think that's wrong, right? Because if you think about nations and conquering, what do you think Napoleon did? What do you think Christopher the Crook, the killer, the rapist Columbus did, right? Anyways, I'm not going to get into that shit. So we talked about disaster relief, right? You guys, let's not have this conversation again. Just do it. And if you need help, hit me up. Here's what I mean. When I say hit me up, I mean go to my website //register. I'm like, after what happened to me yesterday, I'm done. I'm not helping.
The problem I got with it, man, is you say don't let this happen to us again. We keep letting this shit happen. No matter what we do, no matter what we say, no matter how many Walters come through our lives, we keep doing the same shit. An emergency fund, if you understood financial literacy, you're supposed to have a 6 month emergency fund regardless. You're supposed to save money regardless. But that's not important to them. And I'm telling you, I've been where you are. Financial services, I've been there. And the hardest thing that you'll ever do is sit down and get a black person to listen to you talk about, saving your goddamn money.
Right.
It's easy to get the white folk to sit down. They're going to listen. The Asians will sit down, they'll listen. But the Asians going to do business with the Asians. That's all it boils down to. But black people, that's a conversation they don't want to have. So what do we have to do to change the mindset of people, Walter? Because you can preach this sermon, Pastor Couture, you can preach this sermon every day.
Huh.
And there's going to be some nuggos that ain't listening.
Yeah, I wouldn't put my name with Pastor. The earth might catch on fire. Now, I don't know. I've seen some of y'all pastors. Maybe I should step up to the pulpit. But I started out by saying, create a fund for fun, right? Cornucopia, good life today while planning for tomorrow. Put some money away for good, to have fun. There's nothing wrong with eating out and driving a nice car and, just set that money aside, but make sure that you have money left over. I hear so many people say, oh, I can't afford to save. I had somebody send me a message that says your membership is $100 a month. That's way too much money. But I can go on your Facebook page and I can look up your lifestyle, see what you're doing, see what you're driving, all that shit's right there on social media.
But what they call Charles Schwab or Ameriprise or any of them and say your prices are too high. In fact, I would venture to tell them to call Charles Schwab or Ameriprise or Edward Jones or any of those, high-end white-owned companies. Call them to see what their fees are per hour, and they'll be calling you back because they're not going to sit down with you for free because they know how a lot of humans get down. And my younger brother, who was also in the financial services industry, he says, you know what? Sometimes I wish I could just shoot people an invoice for wasting my time.
I tell you what we could do. What we got to do. Hold on a second. Let me turn my camera on. Let's free up some money right now. Let's free up some money. Let's try this. That old high ass, bullshit ass insurance you paying for on your job. Why don't you try looking and getting your own goddamn insurance? Some of y'all paying $400 and $500 every 2 weeks for that bullshit. Why don't you get out of here and get your own shit? Next time open enrollment, don't take their shit. Get your own shit, and you could save a bunch of money. Then you could be able to do some of the shit Walter talking about.
And Gary, also tell them that when you leave that job, you can't take that insurance with you most of the time unless it's a special insurance.
Now they used to give the Cobra packages. Some of these jobs, the day you leave, your insurance dead right there. But if you got out there and got your own insurance for your family, what you paying every 2 weeks, you probably wouldn't even be paying that for a month.
Yeah.
So it's ways to free up money. You can free up money. Cut all that goddamn fast food eating out. Yeah. I get it right now, but on an average, we just fuck off money on fast food. Now I need some of you hood stars to do this for me. Try spending half of what you spend in the club. Just half. You can still go. Instead of fucking off 3, fuck off 150. Put the other 150 in the bank. It's ways to save money, but I know why you ain't doing it no more. The same reason I don't want to fuck with it no more. I ain't got time to be fucking with these people.
Yeah. See, you know what, Five? So you bring up a good point. This is what I don't understand. Everybody talks about they can't save money or they can't do this, what can't be done, but yet the girls are going on a cruise in March and they're on a 3-payment installment plan to get there, and they somehow are always able to make the cruise. So if they really wanted to do it, they can do it, but they just don't.
Walter, the money man. Now you tell me if I'm wrong, Walter. You've been in financial services. You've dealt with a lot of different races.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me if I get this wrong. Black people spend money on what they want to spend it on. That's what they do. They got plenty of money, but they ain't gonna buy no motherfucking insurance for the house. You ain't gonna get no life insurance. And you heard me say this before. You put insurance on your fucking phone before you put it on your life.
Well, that has to do
spend money on what they want to spend money on.
Well, let me back up. That has to do with self-esteem. Number 1 and 2. One of my old friends, he goes, the crazy part is in Africa, we wore gold and jewelry. So part of that is just continuing our heritage. That's what we did, right? So we showed our wealth because back in ancient times, you showed your wealth. You had gold and silver, and like in the military, they wear stripes and they show their wealth of knowledge or experience. So what I'm doing is when I said I'm changing my tone, I believe you should have those things. Just make sure, and I get so tired of saying this, put money to the side. And that's one of the reasons why, honestly, I decided I would walk away from financial planning and just do more consulting, tips, ideas. Because here's the thing. I determined, and I'll just kind of put it out there, I don't need a lot of money to survive. I could probably live off 5 to 10 grand a month and live well, phenomenal, period, with no bills, just live with 5 to 10 grand. Or you could do it with 2 grand. So what I determined is why don't instead of I go out and chase money, why don't I buy things that will produce me an income, right? Here's what you guys could do. You guys, I'm telling you, as soon as the snow is up, I'm taking my black ass to Corinth, Texas, right outside of Dallas, and you can buy land in some of these places, or Conroe, thanks Erica for that, or some of these places, Austin, Texas, right? I know Port Arthur, I think I'm saying it right, or it's Port something down there with the oil land. They're giving shit down there away, right? You can go down there and you can start.
They're giving it away though.
Well, the funny part is the black people are giving it away. And you guys, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to be a little harsh. A lot of us have land and property, and we're not doing anything with it. Like our mama has this house, or you have an extra house, or auntie has an extra house, and it's sitting with equity, and you're not doing anything with it. Go to the other generation.
You know what's crazy, Walter? Real quick, you know what's crazy? You know, and you've been down to the South before. Have you ever been like on a road down there and you'll see a house, especially in Louisiana, and then the jungle will overgrow it? You know, somebody owns that property. It's like they just left and they just left the property there, and you'll see this house with the jungle that's now, you know, taking it back over. And I mean, it's everywhere in the South. You know, it's in Houston and all these places. And like you said, I would pass by and I'd be like, I know somebody owns that house because it's a house. They own that property. They're not doing nothing with it. The kids, the grandkids, whoever have walked away from it, and they're doing absolutely nothing with it.
That's our people. One, we don't really communicate with each other. And I know I'm guilty of some of that with my older relatives, is communicating with them. But you guys, if you live down south and you don't own a piece of property, then you have a problem. And I'm saying, now that you know, now that you understand that you need to own a piece of land, like you can buy a piece of property for $20,000 in Texas. Like I know, because in California, you can go to the desert and buy 5 acres for 50 grand with water and utilities on it. So I can't imagine what you can do in Texas. You guys, I'm telling you, buy a piece of land and put something on it. Even if you put a trade, like I'll give you an idea. In California, if you own a piece of land, you can put your trailer on it and charge $75 to $100 a night. People will pay to rent it. There's a company called Hip Camp. If you own a piece of land, people that own RVs will pay to park on your spot for the night. It's called Hip Camp. Lady called me, was like, Walter, like, we want to use your property. How many RVs can we park on there? I was like, 30. I'm like, what's 30 times $40 a night? It sounds funny. But like, you ever been to a NASCAR race? What do you see in the center? 4,000 RVs. Barbecue, drinking. They got, some people got TVs on their RVs. They got fire pits, saunas, all that shit. So like, this is the type
one of my side hustles as of, you know, last year, I worked NASCAR. I worked at the ticket booth with NASCAR. It was a weekend, but hell, it was some extra money. I wasn't doing nothing. And people would pay giant money to park their RVs in the middle of the track, because like Walter said, the track goes around, they have that big giant field, that space. People would park their RVs and they drink and they, you know, could go to all that. They have everything set up for them, and it wasn't cheap.
Now, while you saying that, in the middle of every track, there's a concession stand. So let me tell you what Gary Monroe used to do. I used to go get the contracts for the concession stands, and I'm the motherfucker in the middle of the track selling all that motherfucking food. I'm telling y'all what I used to do. Man, y'all got to wake up with a hustler spirit, man.
Well, a hustler spirit, you need that. But you guys know what you can add to that hustler spirit? Peace of mind. I'm telling you, yesterday morning, I woke up with an epiphany. And I said, I'm done with financial services, to the point where I am getting up at 5 a.m., going over people's spreadsheets and their finances and doing all this shit. And half the time, they're not going to listen. I said, I'm going to educate and I'm going to teach people and say, do what I'm doing. And so, but from there, what I'll do is I'll focus my time on buying. I'm going to keep saying it, buying assets, buying assets. This house I'm in right now, I think it's worth almost $500,000. You guys, for 500 grand, you know how much land you could buy in Texas? Now, yeah, it's frozen right now, but that's not going to always be the case. But what if you, like I said, if you right now, if you're in Texas and you have a giant propane tank, you have heat. And if your water is frozen and you got a propane tank with a heater, what kind of water do you think you would have? Flowing water. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you guys, it's not complicated. It's madness. Talking from the people that invented the pacemaker and the, like, Father Time. Who in the hell do you like? You think Benjamin Banneker? What do you think Big Ben is in London? Like, we invented the like KRS-One will tell you, we invented everything. The stoplight, this. How are people that were slaves whipped, kidnapped, like our families separated? We came here, we learned a new language and still come here and invent most of the shit that people use in this country. You telling me we can't save 20% of our income for our survival? Like, forget retirement, you having money, you just being at peace. What about for survival? I mean, you know what's sexy? Is having money, just sitting to the side. Hey, girl, don't worry about it. I got you. Not like I got you like Gold Digger got you, but I got you. Like, you know, if you need a place to stay, come for the night. Okay, I'm just playing. Like, come live, come stay. I ain't gonna do it like Donovan, right? You know what? Hey, when the sun come up, you better be out. When I roll over, you better not be here. No. So, you could do that. And you guys, and I know my women, my sisters, I know you guys are listening. Like, here's one thing I love about Black women is they get it, period. Like, sisters will be like, you ain't got to tell me twice, right? When I go, before the pandemic, a bunch of my friends, Jocelyn and Teresa, a bunch of them, it would just be me, like the only guy. I don't know what's up with that. One of my best friends was a woman. And there would be all these Black women. And they would just sit there and talk about their side hustles. One was an accountant, one owned a group home, and they would just talk about their shit, like their businesses. They had their own money. You know what I'm talking about. And it was, now, my friend, there was a time we struggled. I remember we spent the night on my sister's couch. You know, me and her lost everything, right? But she had a Range Rover, a beautiful, you know, almost $2 million house. She's like, boom, boom, boom. The point I'm making is sisters really are the resilient ones, I think. So talking to the ladies right now, you guys could pull your stuff together. You seem to get along easier. Trying to get 6 Black dudes in a room and do business together is like, I don't know what that's about, but we should be able to do it. And how sexy would it be to have 5 to 10 Black men sitting there putting together business plans, running it? Like, our women, we got our women. Like, they don't need to be out there working 2 jobs. We work the jobs. We got our women. How sexy is that? You see all these Tyler Perry movies about I can do bad on my own. No, that shit is fantasy. If we would just step up as Black men, we could have that. Now, Black women, right now, you are in control. So what would be best for you is to do what you're doing, take care of yourself, and then find you a man that wants to do better. I don't care about his net worth. I'd rather have a broke chick that was trying to do better, period. Because if she was working on herself. A lot of you guys have these men in your life and they just need, you know, they just need a lift. A sister say, hey, I got you. I see what you're doing. I know you're a mechanic and you're a bus driver. And I ain't going to be shitting on the bus drivers like they do in the movies. Brother's a bus driver and they shitting on him. That ain't right. Some of those bus drivers, man, I got a boy that drives a bus. He makes 50 grand. His house almost paid off. He got money in his 401k. He's like, I went to his house. He did a white party. I was like, damn, you living nice to drive a bus.
Man,
so
most of the bus drivers, Walter, out here in Riverside are players, man. They got all kinds of women running around.
My boy goes, all these girls get on this bus. Who do you think they talk to when they get off? I said, damn. So you guys, we have this. If you want the help, what we can start doing on this is we can start taking subjects and building our wealth. Like right now, I'm telling everybody to buy land. If you want to buy land, you could put 40% down, a hard money lender a private lender will finance the rest, not over 30 days, on the spot. You can close on land in like 7 days. You see a piece of land, right? You just have to make sure you get the easements, and that stuff you can do through the county. And boom, you guys, even if you don't do anything with this land, you know what I do with the land that we have? Sometimes I just park my car on it. I'll light a cigar and I'll open a brew, and I'll just sit there on the land and just go, damn, this shit is mine. Like, this is my land. All my neighbors are white. And I pulled up and they all came over too. Oh shit, what's the nigga doing? Right? And just, it is what it is. They're like, oh, hey, how you doing, honey? I was like, you don't care what I'm doing. You want to know what's a brother man doing over here. And so it's crazy. And I love all races, right? You guys all know my family, we're all different colors. But all my neighbors around me are white. Every single one of them. And this young black dude and this young Asian chick, Filipino, technically they're black people. Just keep it real, right? Some of them more black than we are. Anyways, I learned Biggie from a Filipino. Anyways, what I'm saying is they're like, how are they here? Right? And so it's just weird that you can own this land. And I'm telling my people, my boys, my girls, let's buy land together. All me and my sister talk about now is buying land in Texas. As soon as it's warm, we are back. I promise you. As soon as I can fly into Texas, I'm going to have my black ass there, and I'm going to be in Corinth, and I'm going to be driving around the neighborhood looking for property. I promise you. It's too easy. You guys, like, for instance.
Here's the thing. And what you're saying, I've been in financial services, and I know it's too easy. These the type of comments right here. The reason why we can't seem to figure out if it's too easy. See, if you don't want to do it, don't do it. I tell anybody, and I'm not gonna say too much. I don't say too much on Thursday. If you motherfucker could even live half the life that I live, if you could have done half the shit that I've been able to do. For a little kid from Third Ward, Texas, that used to sit in a bathtub and just dream, when you start making good decisions with your money, you can do whatever the fuck you want. Walt, I used to wake up and look in the mirror and smile. I'm being honest with y'all. First of all, I get in my jacuzzi. If I drunk anything in the jacuzzi, water, milk, whatever, champagne, it had to be in a crystal glass. I hadn't got to that point. And I would look in that mirror every morning, and the only thing I would say, God, you must have had a plan. Because it ain't nowhere in hell I'm supposed to be living like I'm living. If y'all think it's too good to be true, get the fuck on. Well, I get sick of y'all, man.
Let's do this. If it were me, and I'm just going to be honest, and you guys buying property, there's always going to be some shit. Squatters, this, that, there's going to be drama. Hell to the motherfucking yes. Excuse my French, there's going to be drama. There's drama in almost everything that is worth it. My personal trainer was here this morning. He wore my ass out. I was exhausted. I was tired and I was in pain. And he goes, dude, when you take your shirt off this summer, it's going to be cracking. And so I was like, see you in the morning. I got this sign over here. I'll be sweating my black ass off when he leave. I'm trying to get it together. But that's drama. That's pain. I don't want to lift weights. I don't want to run 10 miles. It's too much drama. But what I love it when I take my shirt off, or if my girl be like, oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know? So anyways, you guys, there's going to be problems. No, of course. But you can overcome them. You guys listen to me. And I'm going to kind of wrap. Build your credit. And I'm not talking about the scam shit. That ain't my credit. You know that's your credit card. You ain't paid it. Stop disputing the shit because it's yours. Pay it. Some of you guys, they get your credit reports and you have $2,000 in collections, which you could settle for $600. That's stopping you from getting to the thousands. It makes 0 sense. Pay them. Because what happens, what creditors are doing now is they go, oh, okay, I don't care about your FICO score. You have these collections you haven't paid. We know you've worked on your credit, but you still have not paid your debts. You are not responsible. They are switching the game. I promise you. Even Joe Biden, his administration, if you saw in the news, they're trying to change the credit scoring system. They know it's twisted, right? So build your credit. I tell anybody, I'll say it again. I'm going to say it low. Like, they're going to hit me. No. Anybody watching this in 24 months, I don't care how broke you are, in 24 months, you could be retired. When I say retire, I mean retired from work. It means you won't need a job. I promise you, I swear to you, work on your credit, save some money, buy a piece of land, somebody will loan you the money, then you can go to get a construction loan or a secured loan against these domes or tiny homes or whatever, and you could build yourself a place to live, and you could build another one where somebody can rent it out. Let me tell you what we're doing in California, and then what you can also do in your state, I believe, is you can take your home, take a home equity loan out, refinance, use that money to build a tiny home, an additional unit, rent it out. So let's say your rent in your neighborhood is $1,500. Do you realize that you can pull money from your house and buy and build a piece of property in your backyard? In California, you can build 2 of them where you can charge $1,000 and that will pay your mortgage. Do you understand what I'm saying? Some of us have the money if the resources are already there. I just had a conversation with a friend of mine. You know, one of his relatives, they have millions of dollars in equity. And she's like, baby, I'm scared. I'm just comfortable. No, that is insanity. Like, I want to leave it for my kids. Your kids ain't going to live to see it. It ain't going to happen, right? Because right now, in the Black community, the homes, things are disappearing. I know because I'm in a deal in Texas right now, and there's some bullshit going on. And I think we worked it out today. But I'm one of the last, Black people on the street. And trust me, I had a bunch of, I was on the phone with a bunch of white people trying to take the shit. And I'm not here to talk about races, but they just feel and I think we did it to ourselves, that they can just take from us because we give it to them. Let's go back and own our stuff. My mom is not here today. I promise you, she was here, she'd be down with this shit. My mom was a hustler, right? If my mom owned a piece of property and it had $1 million in equity, and I said, Mom, here's a plan, here's what we can do, and it's proven, she would do it. Some of you guys have that. Your mama owned a house, was paid off, and it's just sitting there waiting for her to die. I heard a lady say, a real estate agent, that Black people should not use their home equity to buy other real estate. Are you out of your mind? If anything, that's what you should be doing. You mean I own a house that's worth $200,000. I owe $120 on it. I can refinance it and pull out $160 and pull out $40,000 minus fees and buy another piece of property, build on it, and that property will pay my mortgage to where I live. And now that property is paid for and my property is paid for. Come on, you guys. Seriously, this is why I tell people, don't buy a house. Go ahead.
Donnie Knotts, how are you today? Are you the Don Knotts? I'm just kidding. So no, seriously. I put a link up in the comment section, but I can't see your comments probably because we're not friends. But you say you're talking about people on your level. Most people can't hear this shit. And things like that. And so I put up a link, and it's to that of Earl Nightingale. It's called The Strangest Secret. For those of you guys who are into motivational, inspirational type of things, you know who Earl Nightingale was. And he tells us the strangest secret. I won't give it away. You need to listen to it. Anybody who was having some doubts and putting limitations upon themselves and thinking what you can and you can't do because you're here and not there on this level, please listen to that. And as he says, listen to it on repeat until it inculcates into your mind that you are where you are because you want to be there. I don't care if you are on Skid Row or at the Taj Mahal. it's because you want to be there. Now, when I was first told to be me by my own mother, I was pissed off because I'm like, I don't want to be broke. I don't want to be in a situation. But when I took the hot air out of how I was feeling, I understood what she was saying. I had not made the necessary moves, not physically, but mentally in my mind to move forward and do all the things that I wanted to do. And so as long as you think because I'm living here, I'm living there, or I'm not on that level, you're going to stay on that level because you have placed limitations, and maybe somebody else has placed limitations on you and you haven't been able to outgrow those limitations. But there's plenty of people who started with absolutely nothing. One of my favorite stories before we close here is that of J.K. Rowling of, I think that's her last name, of Harry Potter. That lady was on welfare, with kids on welfare. She said the story of Harry Potter came to her and she wrote the story. She said like 90 publishing companies told her, no, this was garbage. And do you know she kept pushing to where she is the first billionaire author in the world ever. So don't tell me what you can't do, but it starts in your mind. You have to change your belief system before you do anything.
And then don't forget about Tony Robbins and Sylvester Stallone's story. That to me was, when I heard that story, that was inspirational to me. Here's a guy wrote a story about an underdog, and it's one of the most successful franchises in music history, or franchise history. Music history too. Rocky has one of the #1 soundtracks. When you hear that, Eye of the Tiger, that shit, trust me, if you own the rights to Eye of the Tiger, Rocky is in the music business. Here's something I want to say, you guys. Why are we talking about this shit right now? How come I just spent an hour and a motherfucking half talking about all these tips? Why are we always ending this shit with this bullshit? I don't want to talk about this shit anymore.
Because this is why. I'm going to tell you why it should be addressed, because it says that it takes one apple to spoil the bunch. And I'm not saying Donnie Knotts is coming from a bad place. I think he's coming from a place that is familiar to him. And that's just his story. It doesn't make him a bad guy. But when those type of comments are permeate the comment section, then it starts to have a domino effect. And then everybody else, not saying you guys, but it tends to leave to where people say, well, yeah, he's right. Because all it needs to be done is to sow a seed of doubt, and then it spreads like wildfire. Unfortunately, negativity spreads faster than positivity. So I wanted to say that it's your belief system. If you believe that you will be nothing because you live in a third world, Gary just told you where he came from to where he went.
That's why I want to get a little bit of this. And I put that comment up there. Bear with me for a second, Walter. Let me see what this shirt say. I could swear this motherfucker say Third Ward, Texas. So let me tell you how that works, big homie. Let me tell you how this works. The one thing I'm not going to do, Walter, I'm not going to have conversations with somebody like Donnie. I can't have him in my company. And it's nothing personal. When I'm trying to elevate, I got to surround myself with people that elevate. Now, you just said the same thing because you told me about a women's group where they were all talking about their side hustles. You got to surround yourself with motherfuckers that got like minds. So if you surround yourself with a bunch of broke motherfuckers, then all you're going to be is broke because they can't tell you how to get no money. But I can tell you one thing. It's a lot of y'all stuck in third ward because that's exactly where the fuck you want to be.
Okay, that's first of all, if you're in the hood, if you're in third ward, you have, and I'm going to say this clearly, you have a better chance of survival than somebody who is not in the hood. Let me tell you why. Because you learn survival tactics and skills. And I hear this shit all the time. And I got Medea movie over on my rack. I'm going to watch that shit when I hang up with you guys. You got me watching Medea tonight. You can pack that shit. You can move it rapid. You can divide it up and cut it and sell it to the hood. But you can't run a business. Do me a favor, you guys. Miss me with these fucking comments. Donnie, you want to hit me up directly? I'll work with you. And I'm not, and I know maybe you're not being negative because sometimes that's just where we are. We think we can't do it. You guys, you're talking to a dude that lost $2 million that was sleeping. If you go down the screen and to my left, I was sleeping on her couch And she remember the night they repoed my what was that? That black Toyota, the black what is it? Tacoma, the Tahoe, the Chevy Tahoe I had. Remember that? It said USS Culture, and I remember it got repoed, and I was looking at my girl like, damn, there went our car. So I had nothing, and I was degraded, but I just kept going, and I started listening to positive people, and before you know it, I was back in the groove. You guys, if you live in the hood, you have a better chance of survival, because when you get in, let me not just tell you, for reals, my father, and I had this conversation with my kids. I was like, because my daughter Brittany, she called me, she talking about her son August, who's 5 years old. And I said, when I was his age, I was working for my father. Like when I was 5, I had a job. My father would be like, go get the 5/8, go get the 1/2 inch, go get me that socket. Like I was like covered in grease. I used to walk for at least a mile, go work at 5. I used to work with my pops. So you guys, and I would walk through South Central. I've seen drive-bys, people get shot. I had a dude tell me, put the mechanic rag down. It's red, and it was really pink and mauve or some shit. But he was like, man, what set you from? I said, nigga, I'm a mechanic. The fuck you talking about? This is a pink rag. I wipe my face and my hands with this rag. You want to shoot me? I'm probably working on your mother's car. Like, but the fact that coming from the hood, you guys, my father's shop was on Florence and Normandy in South Central. Ain't no other hood in LA and California worse than South Central. I spent my summers there, and the fact that I was in the hood, when I got out the hood, I was like, this shit is nothing. These people aren't on their feet. They're not ready to battle. They don't have my mindset. When I approach somebody, I'm in fight mode. I've been to the hood, so I know when I approach somebody in the hood that I may have to get them up. When I leave the hood, these people are they're open. I had a lady tell me, oh, Walter, I love to see a young black man working and running and doing his thing. So if you're in the hood, your chances are better of survival. Take your ass out the hood. Stop repping 3rd Ward, 5th Ward, 12th Ward. Ain't no skin. That shit ain't cool. You from the 3rd Ward, cool. If you're going to be there, build it. I'll come to 3rd Ward and I'll buy some shit. Tell me where to go. I would love to buy in 3rd Ward. You know why? Because in 10 years, it's going to be the white ward or the money ward. So why don't we buy that shit right now? Like, they're not coming into 3rd Ward. I promise you, not just openly. They are looking at 3rd Ward. I promise you. We can't hear you.
You got to do your research, brother. They've been in 3rd Ward. Them folk walking their motherfucking dogs in our neighborhoods. So that was 10 years ago. They're already there. But my problem with it is, and I'm gonna tell you this, Donnie, I don't know you. I'd love to meet you. I'm from 3rd Ward, Texas. I'm there every day. Matter of fact, I ain't gonna be able to meet you next month because I'll be in a 5-star hotel in Minneapolis. Oh, 3rd Ward, nigga, huh? In a 5-star hotel for a month. I'm booking it for a month because I want to go watch the Chauvin trial. What the fuck am I doing in 3rd Ward that you ain't doing? Walter too goddamn nice. Well, what the fuck am I doing that you ain't doing? You motherfuckers need to change your mind frame, get off the corner of Samson in Alabama, smoking that shit and drinking that wine, and get your motherfucking mind right. You motherfuckers getting money this year that you ain't never know you was gonna get. Free money. And if you don't want to invest it, then that's your business. But don't say it's too hard. People told me, Monroe, financial services, man, you ain't gonna do one. You know what me and the ex-wife used to do? This is how we used to get them, Walter. I can sell pants to a dead man. Well, look at it, what we're gonna do. I'm gonna line up all the clients, you gonna close them out. I'm gonna bring all the clients.
Okay. And let me be clear.
And make $30,000 a month.
Okay. Let me be clear.
If you want to make money, you gonna make money. If you want to start bullshit, you gonna start bullshit.
Yeah. Let me be clear on what I mean. My new client is somebody that wants to grow. I have a group of women and now a couple of men on this show. like, talk to Erica. I see Judy on here, Stacy, and there's a few of them that I deal with. I mean, me and Erica talk all the time. And I look at my phone. We've been on the phone for an hour and a half. I'm like, damn. Like, and I love talking to women. You know what I love? Is to see when women get it. That's hot. I don't mean sexual hot. I mean, like, I love to see when a woman goes, oh, got it. What you think about this idea? What if we buy this? What if we buy that? I love that. I love to see when our people get it. You guys.
And them dudes ought to be sick of that, because I'm going to just tell y'all, that's the reason they go buy dicks. But they don't need your in-house, sorry, no money-making ass dick in there.
I was going to share this video, but then it's like, damn. Well, I'm gonna leave that comment alone because, well, shit, I'm speechless, and that's odd. So,
well, if you can invest in weed, you can invest in Friday night. Let me tell you something. In our neighborhood, where these people be going, that ain't no motherfucking rich people in there spending their money on Friday and Saturday. That's regular motherfuckers from the hood fucking off money. All you got to do is take some of your fuck off money and invest it.
Okay.
You can't keep complaining about the white folks start doing what they do.
I have an idea for you guys. So I talked about starting this fund, right? So we need to open a bank account. And here's what I want. The people that are interested, you can DM me or DM my sister. And what I'm saying is I want people that want to get down financially. We can do Zoom meetings. There's a I'll give you an idea. There's an auto auction in, I think, Hobby, right? Carrollton, outside of Houston, Dallas. Do you guys realize that you can go right now, and I know because I did it yesterday, you can buy a BMW for $10,000 that's worth $17,000. So what these car dealers are doing is they're buying these cars for 10 grand, selling it at 17. The interest rate from the bank is only 7. They're charging you 21%. So they're making the 7,000, the spread between 7 and 21, the gap, the this, the that. I sound like most deaf, the niggas, the bitches, or whatever he says. Like, they are making a killing, you guys. That could be us. Bugs Bunny said, if you can't beat them, join them. So what I'm saying, I'm being clear. I will, because every time I buy a car, I go to Texas and I see that you guys have the cheapest cars. It's just out of my reach to go there, fly there. Normally, if I buy a car from Texas or Atlanta or Florida, I will buy it there and I'll ship it here to California. It's cheaper for me to do that than buy it here. So what if we put together 10 grand? Let's say we bought 2 cars and we sold them for 15 grand. There's still $5,000. Do you realize with that 15 grand that we can go put a down payment on a piece of land and finance it? And we're done with the car flip 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. We can own land. It's not complicated.
Okay, I think. See, niggas from really the show me state. So what we waiting on?
Well,
I got money in my pocket.
I'll come there. I can't get there right now because it's all close. But
fuck them. They don't want no money. Fuck them up against the wall with crazy glue on their lips.
Well, the Gorilla Glue thing, I think we solved that problem. Here's what you guys, seriously, and I know I'm being funny. It's I've been like I had 2 hours sleep last night. I woke up in the middle of the night and I was like, oh shit, I can retire in December. And I was like, I have not been able to sleep. I haven't eaten shit. I'm exhausted and mentally my brain is wired. But like, I will come to Texas from LA, Ontario to Dallas. It's like $200 round trip. My sister will pick me up with somebody, Erica, somebody come get me. I can lift whatever. And we can go to these auto auctions and we could go buy, I'll go with my video camera. We could buy these cars. I'll bring them out and we can flip them on the street. We can take them to a car dealer. And we're going to
flip them with the same motherfucker that's watching now that don't do nothing but buy cars when it's tax time. Bring your ass over here and buy this car, man.
Don't do that.
Don't do anyway.
Don't go out, you guys, right now. Don't go out and buy a car. Don't do that. Take your tax return and your stimulus and use it to invest. Like today, I was looking at buying my daughter a car. She's, Dad, I want to borrow your car. And so I was thinking, damn. So she, I said originally, you can take the Range Rover, drive it for a week. I'm gonna be on pins and needles. I'm gonna be nervous as a motherfucker all week while she's driving my Range. So I said, I'll just go out, spend $2,000, get her a Honda Accord, give her the pink slip, and then she can sell it. And then my stress level's down, and she can make some money, and she has a car. Period. You guys can do that all day long.
So let me interpret that for you. I ain't did that in months. What he's saying is, why when you niggas was in the dope game and you would go get a whole motherfucking key and try to break it down and rock it up and try to sell all that shit, I would go get the whole key and sell that bitch for $200 more than what I bought it, go back and buy me something else and get me something with the $200. You can flip these cars all day.
Yeah. It could be, you could sell these candles. I bought this candle for $3.33 from Walmart. I promise you that's not what they paid, right? You got the same candle. I have 100 candles
for less than $1.
Yeah, I have 100 of these in my house. So I'm thinking, why don't I just get my own candles, right? I mean, I'm just kidding. But you get the point. You guys, it doesn't matter if it's this pin. I bought this bull in New York. Like, I don't know why I bought this bull, but I promise you, it didn't cost them $5 to make it. So it doesn't matter what it is. The only reason I talk about cars, clothing, things like that, because it's what I'm doing. That's all.
I tell you, man, I started in t-shirts. I started with t-shirts. And I come from Yates, so the crimson and the gold shit, right? I took 3 fingers because they like to throw them up. And I put them motherfuckers on a t-shirt and say, put your trades up. And sold 2,500 fucking shirts. Oh, well, goddamn, I need some caps now. But I done made all that money back. I'm going to buy some caps. I'm going to buy some sweatshirts. I walked around with a bag full of shit every day. You can, if you a hustler, it's just in you. And I'm telling you, the women got more hustle in them nowadays than the dudes.
Well, that's
if you put together a PlayStation 5 tournament, you have a whole bunch of motherfuckers in the room.
So here's what I'm saying, you guys. Just get something. And you know what's cool? Let me tell you how cool black people are. Do you realize Master P has a supercar company right now? I was watching this video on YouTube. Master P, na. I think that's a song. I don't follow hip hop like that, but I heard him talking about his supercar company. And I don't know if he's doing it with Elon. I'm not sure who his partner is, but he has a supercar company. And he goes, people don't expect a black man to have this. But I expect a black man to have that.
I can give them a bona fide hustle right now. And all they got to do is go set up a tent. Wherever they doing PPE giveaways at, go set up a tent. Get you a motherfucking propane tank. Go over to Grocery Supply or go to HEB, and instead of buying you a pound of crawfish, tell them to sell you a sack of them for $60. A sack of crawfish for $60 and watch how much money you make. If you want to make money, you're going to make money. I'm with you on it, bro. You got 2 people right now saying they ready to talk about these cars, man. We don't need to keep talking. These motherfuckers don't want to talk.
Well,
Malcolm, you come from the Muslim family. Malcolm say you got to get rid of some of these niggas, man.
Well, again, like you said, I'm the nicer one of the group. I try and I want to help people, but not to the point where it hurts myself. So what we could do now, you guys, as a people, we could do it, while we still have cover. What I mean by cover is because there's still some sympathy for the black race from George Floyd and all these things. And it seems like a black person gets killed by the police every other week or stuff like that. But what are we doing about it? Food trucks are popping too. You guys just listen. I don't want to I want to talk about something more fun. Like when you DM me and we talk, or you hit my sister or whatever, let's talk about doing something fun. Like I told my son today, I said, I'm done financial planning. I'm doing good life stuff. You want to go to Spain? You want to go to Seychelles? Am I saying it right? In Africa? or well, okay, whatever. Right, start with an S. Or if you
Seychelles.
Seychelles, or if you want to go to Ghana, whatever it is, you guys, we could do that together. And then there's things we could do to make money and still have fun. Let's do it now, because you guys, some of you guys aren't going to be alive this time next year, 2 years. Okay, I don't mean to put that on you, but like, let's keep it real. Like, I was listening to the news today. Even this pandemic kills Black people 3 to 1. Now, so part of me was thinking, well, damn, is it designed to kill us? Or is it just, and maybe that's the case, I don't know. I'm taking it. Fucking, I ain't having no more kids, right? So 50 with a baby, that's drama. But what if we could just take care of our health? I love when I go to the gym and I see Black people. Because I go, we're working on ourselves. I love to go to business meetings and see our people. When I go into a bank and I see a Black woman sitting there talking to the banker about opportunity, I love that. You guys, we could do that. We are the strongest. Like, you guys, and can I say this? Screw Black History Month. There's no such thing as Black History Month. History is Black. Like, how do you take a people that are the original people and give us a month when without Black people, there's no history? There's no Black History Month. That's bullshit. It is history is Black. Like, even my friends, I had this conversation with a Filipino friend of mine. She was talking shit.
T-shirt.
Huh?
That sounds like a T-shirt. Y'all gonna write that down. History is Black.
You already know it's a T-shirt. Stop it. You better talk about a coat, like a 50-50 split. I already got that shit written down. But
I got a T-shirt too, niggas and flies.
But like, you guys, seriously, there's so many things that we can do. We just have to get together. That's all. So here's what I was saying. My Filipino buddy was talking about like Asians and race. I said, if you're Filipino, go in your history back 200 years. You know what Filipinos look like 200 years ago? Little short Black dudes, pygmies. Negrito, that's what they call him. If you go to the Philippines, they have a section called Negros Oriental. That is Black Asians. That's how it would be. Like, think of you guys, I'm serious. Like, Filipinos, I know most of them are shorter, right? Their heritage, they were short Black people. And it's funny because they'll talk about them like, you know, they don't really like to bring it up. But I'm like, everywhere you go in the world, if you go back, if they weren't grafted or created from a test tube, you see that they had Black relatives. So why don't we act like the original people and start doing better? Hey, man, how you doing? Oh, it's my Airbnb, homie. I forgot you was here. You scared the shit out of me. I was about to, what the? I forgot he was here. Hey, that's $70 a night. So you scared the shit out of me. Anyways, you guys, hey, money to the right, to the left. But anyways, you guys, so we are the original people. Let's start acting like it. If that makes sense.
Final thoughts, Mr. Donovan.
Like I said, every Thursday I got my notes, I got my pen, and I'm writing these ideas and jotting stuff down. Again, there does come a time in even financial guru people's time, even rich people, where they want to go have fun and go live a life. Sometimes it's not always about, there just comes a time where you got to retire. So, I have to respect that as well. And, and it's so sad that at the time that you were into it really, really big, a lot of people lost out on some free information. But like my mom and grandma used to say, each one teach one.
Final thoughts, Ms. Demetri.
My final thoughts are with Prince Markie. I hope I'm saying it right, from the Fat Boys. He has passed on. So I like to say RIP to him. He was 52 years young. 52 is very young. So we need.
So basically all the Fat Boys are gone.
Yeah, all of them gone now.
Are you serious? Well, that leaves. Well, never mind. Let me leave it alone.
Yeah, all of them.
And the Fat Boys, I love. That was like that. Yeah, man, that take me back. That was cool, right? You listen to the Fat Boys when the album came out. That was a business, right? The Fat Boys are back. Well, and yeah, Gwendolyn, I was getting ready to run. I was scared, but why don't we do this? If you guys really want to do something, because we need to get from talking and we need to start walking. Let's put something together. I'm to the point where I'm even like telling my friends and my family, I'm okay moving to Texas. I love Texas. I've Austin, Houston, and Dallas. I don't like the shit you guys are dealing with right now. So I'm gonna keep my California
right now. Come on down now.
I ain't gonna come right now. It's too cold. It was 85 degrees in California today. I had shorts and a t-shirt. I was sweating. So, but I would like to come to Texas. I love Texas. I was in Austin. I was like, I could live here. You guys have the lakes, the downtown, everything is right there. How are you guys not taking advantage of a state where you don't need to file a state income tax return? Are you serious? You can buy land for 20 grand. You can buy a house for 150,000. Are you kidding me? Your mortgage is $600. You guys, like California, we are coming to get you. Californians are coming to Texas. We're taking all your shit.
I think a lot of Californians are going back after the bullshit we experienced.
It's 1 week though. Most people in California snow. I saw some Californians at the University of Austin skiing at the campus. I mean,
that was cute for a hot second. But Gary, what say you as we get out of here? Shit, I'm tired.
Well, I just want to remind people that Mayor Turner's lights went out in the middle of an interview. And the only thing I can say, bullshit. Turner, stop it, man. Stop it, man. I'm trying to develop some type of rapport with you. But goddamn it, you gotta take some acting classes, dude. If the lights went out, how the fuck did the news people keep their cameras on?
Yeah. And I want to apologize to my followers for the bad language. I don't normally talk like that, but like sometimes you gotta have some fun. But tonight, you guys, I'll end with this. If you want to get down and you're serious about doing something together, let's do it. I want to buy land in Texas. I think it would be fun to I want you to think about this. You leave your house and you go to your land and you just look around and go, this is my land. That's an amazing feeling. And you can do what you want on it. I told my neighbors, she goes, are you going to do an Airbnb and have 30 people parked here? I said, hell yeah. At $14,000 a month in revenue, I might have 70 people parked here. And you can kiss my ass. You should have bought the land. Period.
And tell me you're going to do some naked cartwheels too, just for fun. Gary?
I might take my shirt off in the sauna just because. I'm gonna mute my mic.
I ain't giving no shout outs. I'm getting people hitting me in my inboxes and look at what Sheila Jackson Lee doing. You ain't getting no pat on the back. You're supposed to be doing that shit anyway. Do some extraordinary shit. I tell you what, Sheila, got mad love for you. If you could come and show us what you look like without that goddamn ponytail that's stuck to your head for the last 20 years, you might get some act right out of Gary Monroe. Say, man, we the best in the business for a reason. I want to thank y'all for tuning in. On behalf of my good friend, Donovan Sadiq, the Queen, Demetra K, the money man, Walter Couture, I am the 5-star general. Until tomorrow night, Free Flow Fridays. We going hard in the paint tomorrow night. Ted Cruz, you might get the business. Turner, you might get the business. Ain't no telling. But I tell y'all what, my man down there, Congressman Clay Higgins, allegedly you done went got a youngster pregnant. But I ain't gonna talk about it tonight. We're gonna talk about it tomorrow. Until then, we'll holler at you.